Hello everyone, and let's talk about, oh man, kind of a blast from the past type of a book. This is Double Love, created, keyword there, created by Francine Pascal. So this world was created by that author. This is a young adult. This is book number 1 in the Sweet Valley High series, and I read this book because there was a readathon in September to, I guess Francine Pascal has passed away, and so it was to honor Francine. So to read any of the Sweet Valley books. Okay, so this is book number 1 in the Sweet Valley High series, and there are 143 books in this series. This is following twins, identical twins, Jessica and Elizabeth. I remember this series being popular in the 90s. I never read the books, but I do know there were some TV adaptations. And my stepsister, when I would go and visit, absolutely, she liked this series. And I remember her having a couple of books or several of the books. And she would want to dress similar and kind of act like Jessica and Elizabeth. I always liked how people would describe Jessica as spunky and outgoing and everything that I wanted to be. But I definitely identified more with Elizabeth. So anyway, that's a little chick bit? What am I trying to say? That's just a little bit of fun info. Anyway, this particular book, Double Love, was published in 1983. So the reason why I say this was created by Francine Pascal is it does say that this was actually written by Kate William. Now, it says Kate William, according to Goodreads, Kate William is not a real person and does not exist. Kate William is the fake name that was created to represent the team of ghostwriters that wrote the Sweet Valley High series. So who wrote Double Love? I have no idea who actually wrote it. It's just, so if you're ever having a readathon that says book written by a ghostwriter, just pick up one of the Sweet Valley High books and you'll be covered pretty much. When I read this book, there was no audiobook available. It is set in California. So the edition that I read was 112 pages. Jessica and Elizabeth are 16 years old. So in this one, there's this boy that Elizabeth really likes. Jessica also has her eye on this boy as well as the couple. Jessica is very, I would say very full of herself, okay? Elizabeth is more laid back, is very much trusting her twin, even though Jessica has proven that she really cannot be trusted. Elizabeth is always willing to trust her. In this particular book, Jessica it's like I wanted to reach through the book and slap Jessica upside the head and be like, stop it. You are hurting a lot more people. You are a selfish piece of work. I really did not like Jessica. Man. Just, it's like willing to spread rumors even about her own sister, or let rumors that she didn't start circulate and not stand up for her sister, just willing to let it go, and because it benefits her in the long run. She forced her sister to apply for this high school sorority because she wanted in it and didn't want to apply alone. And Elizabeth didn't want that, but she forced her sister to. Elizabeth is more of kind of the person that's content being in the background and supporting those people that she loves. Elizabeth works for the school newspaper, and there are some friends that Jessica considers questionable, and that's only because these friends of Elizabeth are not pretty to Jessica's standards and popular to Jessica's standards. So Jessica very much looks down on other people. As I had said, Elizabeth has her eye on this one guy, and Jessica lies to the guy saying, oh, Elizabeth's busy. She has her eye on this other guy. So she's kind of feeding these little lies to this guy that Elizabeth has just so that she can go out on a date with this one guy that Elizabeth likes. And then she turns around and lies to Elizabeth's face saying that she was basically sexually assaulted by this guy that Elizabeth likes, so that Elizabeth will not even go for this guy anymore. Very shady. Elizabeth, or Jessica, yeah, don't like Jessica. This is classified as a chick lit. So you have talk of affairs, you have rumors of affairs, that's pretty much this book. It's a high school drama, and Elizabeth is the very background supporting person, and Jessica is the center of attention, and always has to be the center of attention. This edition that I read was 112 pages, no audiobook available when I read that. You have people jumping to conclusions. You have focus on looks. There is a lot of focus on being vain and looking, but they don't call it vain. It's just snide little comments about how people look or don't look a certain way. There's one that it's saying, oh, does this outfit make me look fat? And, comments like that, just kind of random stuff. So you have a little bit of fat phobia in there. You have talk of the death of a parent, leukemia, and, as I had mentioned, lies of sexual assault. So that's your content and your trigger warnings. Representation is pretty much going to be up to your imagination, other than knowing that the Wakefield twins, Jessica and Elizabeth, are white, blonde hair, your stereotypical, the most beautiful, that ideal from back when this book was published, blonde hair, blue eyes type of a look. As far as the words, in case you're still on the fence, there are only 2 words that popped up that I could see that could be bothersome to people. You have the word God coming up, not in a religious context, 1 time, and the word trampy 1 time. And that is it. That is this. All I'll say about this is do not take this seriously. It is definitely a product of its time, as far as like a lot of the commentary and focus on how someone looks and not being good enough because you're not of a certain societal standard as far as looks go, and popularity. A lot of emphasis on that. I did read this next book in the series, and I'll get into that one later in a different video, but the emphasis on looks and being popular, that continues on, and I imagine it will continue on. So again, published in 1983, definitely a product of its time as far as how that topics of conversation goes, so definitely be aware of that going into it. But I will say, if you go in aware of it being a product of its time and that stuff is going to be more prevalent, but just go in ready to roll your eyes and hopefully just have a lighthearted, fun time. That's just, don't take these seriously. Seriously, do not take these seriously. They're just a fun, very quick read. I would say these are definitely, if you're doing a readathon, these would probably be a good way to hit some of those prompts very quickly because of how short they are. Again, the edition I read was only 112 pages, so you can definitely get through them quicker and things like that. Will I be continuing on with this series? I am very much a completionist, so yeah, I'll be continuing on unless it gets so overwhelming. Granted, I've only read 2, and this is my first time reading this series, but I just remember how popular they were and idolized and stuff in the 90s when I grew up. So yeah, so just don't take any of this seriously, everything with a grain of salt, and just kind of laugh at the stupidity of the characters from back at that time. So that's pretty much all I can say. So let me know if you've read this series. Is this I would say if you've read this series, what am I trying to say? My mind just went blank. So I'm going to say never mind on that because, I was going to say if you wanted to compare it to like Fear Street series by Earl Stein, which is also, I would say as far as comparing the two, it can be a very sentimental thing to a lot of people. And that's pretty much it. They are going to be at times, I will even say with the Fear Street ones, a product of their time, of what was deemed okay, and I say that in quotes, to mention at that time, and how things were just more kind of flippant and stuff that shouldn't have been that way. But Fear Street, I hold in my heart because it is very nostalgic to me, where other people will feel the same way with the Sweet Valley series. So, I mean, that's all I can say. It's just definite product of its time, but just be ready for some eye rolls, and hopefully it'll make you laugh at times. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I ended up giving it 3 stars, so I'm not opposed to continuing the series. I would like to continue the series and hopefully see some growth from the characters. Granted, I've only been in 2 of them, but read the 2 of them, but that's not a lot of time because it's like takes place over just a couple of days. So it's not a lot of time for a lot of character growth and development. So I'm hoping there will be. I'm hoping that Jessica will mellow out and not be so snobby and self-centered and everything like that. Let me know if you've read this series or any of the books in this series, or have you read any of the other Sweet Valley world. So let me know your thoughts on that if you have any thoughts. Otherwise, yeah, so I'll talk to you in the next video, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.